In this video I'd like to share with you my beginner-friendly, OP, overpowered build for very mediocre geared character that will allow you very easily grind the content that requires much higher power level. Why, would you ask me? Because you want to push your power level high, you want to gear up basically. How do you do it? Well, by doing harder content. So this particular build is going to allow you to push that bracket, push that thing much faster. You will be able to do content that requires power level 40 while you are somewhere in the 20s. That's what I'm talking about. So if you're a beginner of Minecraft Dungeons, if you're not an expert, because for experts this will be like meh, but if you're a beginner and if you'd like to learn more about how to make your character overpowered early on, please stick around, like the video, subscribe for more similar videos, and let's get started. Welcome back to the channel everyone, I'm Gyro, I'm your host here. I assume you are not an expert in Minecraft Dungeons, and I assume that you are a beginner. Maybe I piqued your interest, maybe some other channel. So I would love to share with you my own findings based on some research and definitely playing Minecraft Dungeons. By the way, I play on Xbox and PC, so on Xbox my character is a lot higher level. I am not in Apocalypse yet, but I am definitely much higher in the game and certainly learned a few more tricks than you can see from this kind of noobish character. But I'm talking here to the beginners, So if you're looking for a particular part of this narrative, please take a look at the timeline of this video, because there'll be chapters. So you can just fast forward, and if you don't want to hear me rant, or if you want the whole story, please stick around and like the video while you're at it. Now, let's take a look at my build. What's the point of it? As I said in the introduction, the point of it is to start pushing your power level higher early. Find a way how to get much higher level items, power level items at this level. Something that would be level 37, 40. Like these pieces there, right? So you want to push that power level higher as quickly as you can. Well, generally, I assume so, if you are into power progression for yourself. How do we do it? We do it with a fancy build, and this build is being done with some specific items. So this is an unusual build, and I'm not claiming that it will work very well in, say, Apocalypse difficulty, but it works very well in adventure, and it will help you. It's fun to use, and it will help you grind power much faster and get better gear. So let's take a look at what moves this, so to speak, what moves this build forward. First of all, we'll start with my robe. The robe can be any type of robe, because the main thing that we're doing here, I don't care that it burns nearby enemies, that's just kind of cute and comfortable. What we're looking for here is minus 25% artifact cooldown. So this is an active build, it's not a passive build. I will offer you some other very OP builds in some further videos, especially if you tell me that you want them. If you do, subscribe to the channel, like the video, talk to me in the comments down below right now, so that I know that you want this. Now, back to this. Minus 25% cooldown reduction on your artifacts. This is not an introduction to the game, so I assume you know what artifacts are. As you can see, the roll on this game, the enchantments roll on this game was lucky. Well, it's not a god roll, but I have the cooldown thing here, which is maxed out to 27% reduced cooldown on top of minus 25 cooldown. Naturally, I'm just trying to make sure that my artifacts are ready to use as quickly as possible. What do I do additionally to that? I have much better gear here. This is a much better crossbow, for example, but I'm using this lame one. Why? Because it has this very specific enchantment, so you need to look out for that enchantment if you're trying to repeat my build. It's an anime conduit. When you kill a mob, you get a soul flying to you. Whenever this soul reaches you, first of all, it powers up one of your artifacts that I'm going to show you in a second, and you also regain 6% of your maximum health per soul. Is this the most time-efficient heal in the game? Absolutely not. There are some other better ways to heal yourself, and I have a supplementary heal in this build, but this is one of the things that are supporting you. So I'm not even shooting this crossbow when I'm running in the game. I am literally just relying on the fact that it heals me. That's it. Back to it. So for the weapon, this is not the best weapon that I can use for this build, and we will talk about this as soon as we start running the mission, running the dungeon. This is one of the okay weapons. It's an okay weapon, but it's far from being the best. I much prefer the fists, the fighter's bindings, for example, or even soul fists, for those people who know what I'm talking about. In essence, the main thing here is this. You want the highest possible speed of attack speed here, and you're looking for a roll on a weapon. It could be not a unique weapon, it might be just sickles, it might be daggers, but you're looking for any weapon with a fast enough attack speed, yes, and enchantment Radiance. Radiance has a 20% chance to spawn a circular area that heals all allies within it. It's a small area, so it's not very efficient to heal your allies as tested on Xbox, but when I play solo on the PC, it's still fantastic to heal yourself solo when you play solo. Obviously everything is scalable, so in this particular case 41 health doesn't look like much, but it's because I'm a very low level at the moment, so 41 health is actually plenty for my level. When you attack fast, this thing procs all the time. Fighter's bindings, the different weapon that I have on Xbox but don't have here, they have full maxed out speed. The attack speed is absolutely insane. Even daggers would be much higher here, but I don't have, unfortunately, Radiance here, enchantment. So this is, again, a staple type of thing. It doesn't have to be Dancer's Sword, but it can be anything fast attacking with Radiance. This is gonna be your heal. Alright, now to artifacts. Deathcap Mushroom. Deathcap Mushroom increases your attack speed and movement speed. 30% 30-second cooldown, but don't forget that we have a reduction of the cooldown here, artifact cooldown and cooldown here. So this will be ready and available to us pretty often, and as you will see in a minute. Ironhide Amulet is very useful piece of hardware here as well, which is again on a lowish cooldown after the cooldown reduction, and it gives a pretty massive duration of the major boost to your defense for a short time. You are very hard to kill, even though you are not in a tanking outfit per se. And finally, Updraft Tome. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, especially if you know if that is the fact or if something else I'm missing here. But say on Xbox I've played a lot more than on PC, and I have not found the Updraft Tome. It could be related to the expansion that I may not own, I need to double check it. I may not own the latest expansions on Xbox, but on PC I do, and that's possibly where it's from. But anyway, you will see how awesome this thing is. It requires souls, but at the same time it's very awesome for crowd control of the enemies. The idea naturally will be that I will be using my artifacts as frequently as I can while healing myself and while reducing the damage. That's about it. You need to see it in action to believe it, my friends. So how about we go now to the mission? Which mission are we gonna select, you would ask me, to push that power level higher? So if you noticed, once again, my power level right now is 27. Now take a look at this. We go to Soggy Cave, everyone's favorite Soggy Cave, and I will have a separate video to talk to you about Soggy Cave and its secrets. I will talk to you about the secrets and secret puzzles of Soggy Cave today, which is gonna blast through this in real time. I will talk a little bit less and I will show to you this build in action, end to end, and don't worry, it will take us only about 5 minutes. As you can see, my power is 27, recommended power is almost 40. Almost 40, but that naturally gives the gear and artifact power between 30 and 43, which is very nice and generous for someone who is very under-geared, so to speak. And that is what we're doing, my friends, here today. I would dare say I can probably push even adventure of recommended power 45, but just because I want to avoid any particular embarrassment, I'm going to do on 2. And one last disclaimer, I might die once or twice, but I will make it through and I'll get awesome gear that otherwise I wouldn't have gotten with some other build. Ready? Let's do this. And here we are in the Soggy Cave, my friends, like take a look. So I'm not relying on burning of the enemies, but I'm using the artifact number 1. It lifts everyone and everyone is kind of dead. I will use the protection artifact, Ironhide Amulet, and I will use my proccing radiance and ridiculously fast attack speed, because right now I'm mushroomed. If I had Fighter's Bindings, which are the fists, the special fists, that would be even better. Your only fear here is the fact that if a creeper runs up to you, that is probably the only reason to use a bow occasionally. If a creeper runs out to you, you want to get rid of creepers or be very careful with them, because they obviously can kill you just with one explosion, and you don't want... This build is not particularly explosion proof. We will talk about other builds, as I mentioned to you earlier. We'll talk about other builds in some other videos. I have at least 2 more builds, which I absolutely love. They do require slightly different loadout, slightly different equipment, but they are, so to speak, explosion proof. This one isn't. But we are about to go into the interesting part of this very quick mission that will demonstrate to you just how powerful this build is, considering its very low power level right now, my low power level. Take a look at this. My radiance is healing me in a very stable way. At the same time, my artifact is already ready to use, my Ironhide amulet is ready to use, and I'm pretty much at the first set of the puzzles. Let's go into the very first... Let's call it a room, I suppose? Yes. Let's call it a room. Now they're gonna start spawning. We're gonna get rid of them. And we're gonna get some fat loots, as they say in these days. I absolutely love this artifact, this Book of Updraft. And yes, naturally, it is a very workable, as you can see. Hopefully, I've already proven to you that it's a very workable build. But naturally, you have to be aware that everyone is much stronger than you at this level, because it's almost power level, what, 40? And I'm within 20s. So I'm seriously undergearing content, but as you can see, there was no even extra emergencies there. It was pretty easy. Don't worry about these puzzles. Like I said to you, if you're interested in playing Minecraft Dungeons and farming specifically Soggy Cave, I know that it's a popular topic. I will publish a separate video where I would be very much on point and specifically tell you how to very quickly solve the puzzles, especially the hard one, the one that has 5 elements to it. This one that we just solved was trivial, absolutely trivial, you can just click around. But that one that you can see over there, that is much harder to solve, and I am going to tell you in the other video exactly how to solve it. I was looking up guides on these guys and girls, and as much as I am a fan of some content creators within Minecraft Dungeon space, I could not find one guide that would very quickly and very easily explain to me what is there to do. Some guides are misleading you to believe that you need to press certain things in quick succession, in like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it's not the case at all. And yes, as promised, I have died once, big deal, no problem. We're going to come back in, and I have no intention to die again, my friends. And we're pretty much at the end, in case you are running out of patience or whatever. Well, patience is a virtue. Let's very quickly solve this, and I will explain to you some other time exactly how I did it. This was not the easiest combination, but we're getting there. Trust me. Boom, we're done. Yes, and that's how easy. And sometimes, so obviously this puzzle appears to be in different state every time you come into this dungeon. So sometimes it's like literally 1 click or 2, as long as you know what to click. And obsidian chest is upon us. Fingers crossed, my friends. Let's see. And nothing good came out of it, but uniques here are not very rare. Let's take a look at what these daggers give me. Swirling is a very powerful enchant, but I by no means am going to replace my radiance. And this is it, my friends. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you want some World of Warcraft content or Minecraft Dungeons content. Judging by how I'm going so far, I think I am going to make regular visits, revisits, whatever you want to call them, to the world of Minecraft Dungeons, girls and boys. And yeah, because it's a very enjoyable game, and I'm having so much fun that I can only do the second best thing, and that is to share with my friends what exactly I am doing here, how I'm doing it, and how I am making sure that I am enjoying it. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'll speak with you next time.